Welcome back to another episode of Young Adult Problems. Sorry if I'm out of breath. 3 minutes ago I decided to do 30 squats and I am absolutely winded. Yes, I'm very out of shape. I've literally been sitting in bed since I woke up. It is now 4:44 p.m. But that's besides the point. Guys, we have hit a milestone. Last week's podcast had a few listeners, and of those few listeners, we had like 2 people listen till the end. 2 people took time out of their day to give Young Adult Problems a listen. And if you're one of those 2 people, like, thank you for listening all the way through. I didn't think anyone will listen, to be honest. So like the fact that y'all went from beginning to end is like crazy to me, and just thank you for that. Like, actually, thank you so much. Okay. Today, I wanted to talk about reminiscing on the past. Do you ever just find yourself caught up in reliving a moment in the past? You know, maybe times were happier or more exciting. And, you know, as you're thinking about these times, you're like, man, if only I could relive it one more time. You know, it's almost as if you're daydreaming. Or maybe you are on the verge of falling asleep and suddenly you're creating like 70 billion scenarios in your head all about blast to the past because, you know, there's just something you can't get off your mind, or it's like a happy time that you want to think about. Yeah. Which, by the way, I do recognize that not everyone wants to reminisce on their past experiences. Maybe people are at the stage in their life where they're like, no, the past is the past. I'm over it. What's happened, and I'm here and I'm moving forward. Which is totally fine. I'm just talking about my own brain reminiscing today because I am definitely reminiscing on the time I was 18. Not because that was my favorite moment in life, but like, let me just rewind. So, a few weeks ago, Spotify Wrapped came out, which, by the way, Joji was my top artist. I think he's been my top artist for 3 years, but so good. Anyways, so Spotify Wrapped came out, and I was looking at my top 100 songs of 2022 playlist. And as I was going through that, I was like, wait, do they keep the playlists from previous years, like your top 100 songs in 2021, 2020, etc., etc.? And so I looked it up, and I guess they do. And so I went down a whole rabbit hole of my Spotify Wrapped playlists, 2020, 2019. And then when I got to 2018, I put it on shuffle, and the first song that came on was Better by Khalid. And man, did that bring a flood of memories back into my brain. I didn't think that was going to happen. I literally just played the song, and then it was like whoosh. Does music ever just bring you back? When you hear certain songs, do you associate them with a very specific time period and very specific people? Because when I hear a song, if it's a song that's played a significant role in my life, meaning that like I've just listened to it on repeat, like at a certain time in my life, I can identify exactly when I listened to that song, like what period of life I was in, how I was feeling, what I was experiencing, the people I associated with. Like, it's crazy how much songs just, it's almost like a memory capsule. When you play the song, it unlocks this whole memory, and like it brings back so many details of like times you may have forgotten. And so that's basically what the 2018 playlist did for me. More specifically, the music in 2018 captured a time that was way simpler in life, way more exciting in life, way more carefree in life. 2018 for me I was a senior in high school / going into college, so that captured those 2 eras for me. I know that in 2018, I thought I knew everything about the world. I thought I had experienced it all, but in reality, I was just in a safe little bubble of school and friends. I thought that bubble was my whole world. I was like, this is it, man. Even when I'm in college, this is my bubble. Even when I start working, this is my bubble. It just captured a time where I guess I felt safe. It was a time of hope. It was a time of hopelessness. It was a time of excitement, heartache, and like honestly just pure chaos, because the time when you're finishing up your senior year and then you graduate and then you have summer and you start college, like that's a lot to experience within a year. So it's just like pure chaos, but it's exciting chaos. You're experiencing so much. So it is, regardless of like, whether it's not always happy times, it's an exciting time. And so the 2018 playlist brought me back to that. I had a lot of Lana Del Rey, Shawn Mendes, Bozzy. Oh my gosh, the way Bozzy highlighted my 2018. If you listen to the Bozzy album with the songs called like Soaring or 315, that is basically how my entire senior year felt. But yeah, so I basically went down that rabbit hole of music, and then I was like, okay, I'm done listening to this playlist. That's enough for the day. I'm done with my trip down memory lane. And so I called it a day. And then I had dreams. So for some reason, my subconscious decided to bring my past to life. Like, not only 2018, it decided to bring back 2014 and like 2006. And so I dreamed about people that I haven't talked to or even really thought about for the past like 8 years. Like something in my subconscious just dug up even older memories of people that like aren't in my conscious or whatever. And so in the dream, I was reconnecting with so many people that I used to be close to. And so I got really curious. I was like, I wonder what they're up to. I wonder what they're doing. Like, some of the people in my dreams, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good talking to you. Like, I wish we still talked this way. Yeah, dreams just make you feel a certain way about people, and that's basically what happened to me. And so then I continued going down a whole rabbit hole, just spending the whole week thinking about the past, like very specific memories. I remember when I would laugh with my friend until we cried because there were birds on the projector, like a picture of birds. And for some reason, my friend and I could not stop laughing, and the teacher told us to be quiet, which is kind of funny because I'm normally like really quiet in class. So the fact that I have this like funny memory to think back on, times are different. Also, I have memories of staying at my friend's house till 2 a.m. to film a music review. So we would listen to albums, play them, and live react to them, all as part of a school project where we had to produce weekly films. And even though it was honestly just us staying till 2 a.m. filming for 5 hours straight, there are so many like good memories ingrained within that. Like, I don't know, eating out before that, or like taking naps on the couch together, or just laughing till we cried about the most random things, or just hugging stuffed animals. I was thinking about my promposal, which was low-key scary because so many people were there. I remember my friends were guiding me to go find some clues for the promposal, and suddenly there was a giant circle of people around me. Half the people I didn't even know, but I just remember that being really scary, and I was really nervous, but it was like exhilarating, you know what I mean? Like, even though I didn't particularly have feelings for the guy, and big crowds scared me, and it was like a lot happening at once, it was all still, really exhilarating. Like, I had never had someone make a poster for me or put all that effort into planning something for me, even though part of it was a lot of my friends, so shout out to my friends for doing that. But yeah, so even though I was scared and it wasn't really my thing, like, it was still a very exhilarating moment in life. I remember my head spinning, my hands were shaking, everything like that. So yeah, that memory is kind of ingrained in my head. I even started to LinkedIn stalk people from middle school and elementary school, and to see the different paths that people have taken is just crazy. I mean, I remember this girl in my elementary school class. She would get in trouble a lot, but she was really funny, and I just LinkedIn stalked her, and now she is a successful award-winning speaker. She's gotten awards from the mayor, from the city basketball team. Like, she's doing big things and making big social change, and I just think that's like incredible. And yeah, just thinking back on all of these things and then suddenly snapping back into reality makes you realize that you're really not like a kid anymore, even though you might feel like one. Personally, my brain hasn't matured. I still feel like I'm 12, even though I'm 22. But yeah, you snap back into reality and you realize, those times no longer exist. Now I have adult responsibilities. Now every day is the same. Now nothing new or exciting is happening, as opposed to when you're in high school. There was so much going on back then, and right now it's like life has slowed down. And that exhilaration, that adrenaline is kind of like mellowed out, and every day is the same. I literally wake up, I sit in bed, I sit at my desk, and then I sit back in bed to go to sleep. There is nothing else that happens. And so that's why sometimes it's nice to think about like the times that were just a little bit more exciting. But also thinking about my present self and thinking about my past self. My old self would have never expected to be where I am today. I'm not talking about in terms of success or whatever, because I have a long way to go. I'm talking about in terms of, I guess, number one, where I am mentally. And by that I mean, my younger self had a little bit of social anxiety. I was an introvert. I tended to be on the shyer side. But I always thought, in a few years from now, Emmy, you're going to mature and your brain is going to grow, and there's literally no reason for you to be sad or insecure or anxious anymore, because you're going to be an adult and there's no room to feel that way when you're an adult. I literally thought I wouldn't be feeling any of these things anymore. Fast forward to now, I'm feeling social anxiety more than ever. And same with insecurities. Like, I don't think I've ever been this insecure in life before. But it's just crazy to think that back in the day that I felt these feelings and I was like, you know what, this is the worst right here. You're gonna feel better. And then fast forward and here I am, a 22-year-old still feeling these types of ways. Like, it's not something you expect. And then I think number two, my younger self would have never thought I would be where I am today in terms of my relationships with people. For example, in high school, I was really close with this one girl. We worked together, we went to college together, we spent every living second of our freshman year in college together, until we didn't, because we had a friendship fallout. And it's natural for people to grow apart, but our fallout wasn't the best. It's not like we would talk to each other if we wanted to. It was like, okay, we're done talking. Younger me would have never thought that would have happened because I was so close to her. But I think one of the good things is that I don't think anything ill of her when I think about her now. If I think about the times that we had, I only think happy memories because we've had so many of those, and it just completely overwrites anything bad that happened. So I think little me would have been sad to have had this friendship fallout, but me right now is just glad that it didn't end on such a bitter note that I absolutely hate her guts. Like, no, that's not the case. I still think of like the fun times that we had together. It's the same thing for a lot of the other friends I had in high school, a lot of distance or friendship fallouts. There was one girl who I considered, one of my best friends. She introduced me to dance. I laughed till I cried with her at least once a day. I mean, we had so many jokes. We had so many fun memories. And, I really just appreciated everything that she had taught me, everything that she had exposed me to, like dance or joining various clubs or just being less afraid to, I guess, be myself and say what's on my mind. And one of my last memories with her was going to a Taylor Swift concert with her towards the end of the year, senior year of high school. And, after that, we both went to college and we went our separate ways. And throughout all of that, we didn't really stay in touch. We became so distant that it was almost like strangers. But recently I've gotten to see her a little bit more in some group settings, and I had one conversation with her, and I just remember thinking, I might be super awkward and timid, but I was really happy that we finally got to have a conversation. And I don't think younger me would have ever thought that we would be this distant. But yeah, it's like now times are so different. I appreciate the fact that we even had a conversation. So I just think times change, man. Times really do. Just reflecting on all of that, reflecting on these specific instances, reflecting on the memories, the playlists, everything. It was like a flood of memories just was unlocked in my brain. And it's crazy to think how much life changes in such a short period of time. I mean, 4 years might seem like a long time, but time moves fast. It moves way too fast. And just seeing the drastic change of where I was versus where I am now and the people I'm talking to now, I would have never expected it. But it's nice to look back and be like, this was life and this is what I had with other people, and I will remember these times, because what is life without memories? If you don't have the memories, did they even really happen? Do they exist? Did that event ever exist? So it's nice to hold on to like the memories you can. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my reminiscing, because it really did take over my week. And so if you listened the full way through, thank you. And if you've ever reminisced to this extent, like, please tell me I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not the only one, right? I hope you enjoyed, and I think it's time to go take a nap. So have a good one. And I'll catch you next week on the next episode. Okay, bye.